Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the REC podcast presented by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host today, Roman Chavez.
And Eric Icarus.
All right. I know. With me, as always, is Eric Icarus. I missed some words. That's fine. Today, guys, the show we want to talk about, the show we want to have, Game of Thrones was premiering this weekend. The final season, 6 episodes. Where are you at? Where's your head at?
10.
10?
I mean, this is my excitement level's through the roof because they left it on. They know what they're doing, obviously, but that last season for me, in all honesty, dragged out. Mm-hmm. Even though it was shorter, right?
Yeah, it was a shorter season.
Yeah, and
it dragged out
for me.
Jesus,
yeah,
man,
I felt like they. I feel like there were certain points in the show where they're like, they dragged things out. And then all of a sudden, they were like rushing things for me. So that it's still amazing though. Not saying it sucked. Yeah. So I really just want to see the conclusion, and hopefully they kind of pace it out a little bit. Maybe cut a lot of the dialogue we don't need.
I couldn't disagree with you more in terms of last season. There always feels like there's so little fat on the bone with Thrones. Like I don't have an episode I dislike. And last season was no different. Some of them were a little longer in the kind of that test phase. Sure. Because the rumor is that we'll have a few episodes that are an hour and a half that are actually 90 minutes.
Definitely.
And then I think I read something that they're 48 minutes, 55 minutes, 90 minutes.
Oh.
So even though it is a shorter season, they're still going to try to get our money's worth.
For sure, definitely.
Especially since I got to figure out a way to. I don't have HBO all the time. I gotta call them up and see if they'll hook it up for a month.
A trial.
Can I get 6 weeks?
Yeah, please.
Can I get a 6-week trial? So your excitement levels are at 10.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't agree more. This is going to be an interesting year for these big events. So you've got Game of Thrones ending. Just throwing a little nerd comic stuff in there. We have Avengers ending. So there's going to be 2 big
dynasties coming to it.
Yes, coming to a close. We know that they're going to do.
They'll do other things.
Yeah, but they're going to do prequels and sequels most likely. So that's fine. Give me some predictions. Where do you think this show is going to go?
Well, okay. As far as I think...
Who's going to be on the throne?
Okay, I'm going to give you this. I think it's going to be Snow. I think Jon Snow is going... Yep, I think he's going to take the throne. I think he's going to maybe say, I belong in the North, and he's going to give it to... oh, my goodness.
Daenerys?
Daenerys, thank you. So I think that's how it's going to play out.
It's been almost 2 years since we've seen the show, so to forget the names, I think it's fine.
But definitely, I think that's how it's going to play out. I think it's going to be Daenerys in King's Landing, and you're going to have Mr. Snow in the North. I know that's pretty predictable, but it has to. For me, it has to end that way.
Let me throw you something.
Okay.
Part of this is from our good buddy of the show, Andy. He thinks Gendry is going to end up on the throne in King's Landing. Gendry was the bastard son of Baratheon.
Yep.
Okay. And at first I wasn't really on that, and then I thought about it more. It would make a ton of sense is if Gendry gets King's Landing, however that is, because people did actually like Robert Baratheon more so than the other people that they've had. Definitely more so than Targaryens, definitely more so than the Lannisters, so on. But Gendry's good buddy, and I felt like there was a spark there, was Arya.
Oh, it's true.
So maybe Arya and Gendry are some of the last standing, and to kind of a salve over the North, they marry.
Okay.
And we have Arya as kind of Queen of the North, Dame of the North, however I don't know how it goes, and her husband is Gendry Baratheon.
Yeah. Okay.
Gendry Snow, I guess, is what they would call him. Technically, all the bastards get Snows. So I think that's interesting.
Okay, I can see it that way too. Okay,
it because I don't think that's as predictable.
Sure, very true, very true.
Because another friend of ours thinks that Tyrion's going to somehow end up on the throne.
Who said that?
Nate.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he wants.
For sure, yeah. We all want that.
But I just, people don't like Tyrion just normally. They're not going to accept him as the king.
No.
Even though he almost did save them from that that
Battle of Blackwater.
Good job, man. Yeah. I'm like, who was that? That was Baratheon's brother. That's some thoughts there. But we have a lot to get there. So
Yeah.
we have the winter coming. We have the White Walkers coming. How significant the Night King has to be significant, right?
Oh, sure. Oh, that's going to be. I think that's maybe what's going to. Well, it started to. They all started to. What's the word I'm looking for here? Come together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At the end, all these warring factions, like, okay, zombies are coming. We need to get our stuff together.
Yeah. Except for Cersei's dumb self
But,
trying
sure,
to backstab everybody.
Yeah. And I think it's going to come down to them fighting the White Walkers, succeeding, and then fighting them amongst themselves for the throne.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be like the midpoint is them defeating the White Walkers and then moving into like, okay, we got to see who's going to sit on the throne.
Yeah.
So I see that going that way.
I think that the Night King is. I think he might be a Stark, like an actual.
Because there was that
from the
weird
lineage.
moment that they kind of saw each other, right?
Yeah.
And he spared him, or he gave him a kind of weird look, right?
Yeah. Or he,
And he has an uncle or something that went out into the right.
Well, Uncle Benjen is there, and remember, he's like
a wildling or something, right?
He's like a White Walker. He's like a zombie that was like given his sentience back. He ends up saving Jon.
Okay, right, okay.
Yeah, when Viserion.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's. I think that because the Night King would be really old.
Sure.
Way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And remember those, not the wildlings, but the Children of the Forest, they like created the Night King more or less.
True, yeah.
To fight the wildlings, to keep them safe.
That's right, yeah.
So I'm wondering if he is of Stark lineage and, that has some type of bearing on anything, really.
Okay.
Do you have any kind of like wild theories about the show?
I am a huge fan of this show, but I don't have any huge ginormous theories.
Okay.
How about you? Do you have something? Because maybe I can think of something quick.
Yeah, definitely. And some people don't like to disseminate everything that way, come up with their own thoughts. So
Yeah.
I am one of those people.
For sure.
And just because it drives me nuts.
Yeah,
I'm curious, in terms of the throne, what was the deal that Tyrion made with Cersei? I think we can assume, since Cersei says that she's having a child, I think that we can assume that Tyrion will... Oh man, how crazy would it be? So Tyrion's deal with her, we don't know it, is I'll make sure your kid gets on the throne no matter what.
Okay.
And if Tyrion but why would he stay loyal to his sister?
Right.
Like Tyrion murks Daenerys or something,
right,
to ensure that a Lannister
stays on the throne.
Yeah, that would be something.
That would be then he would become the most hated character.
Yeah.
He would be the most beloved to the most hated, like that.
Because I could see something like that happening, because for the most part, I think everybody's liked Tyrion from the beginning.
For sure.
There's been very few things where we did not like Tyrion. I mean, he was constantly standing up for Sansa, trying to keep her safe,
right?
Trying to keep the people safe, trying to keep the balance of power, everything equal,
right?
And those people, they don't get what they want. I don't think in this world. I don't think that, even though he's not
time and time again, that's been proven on the show.
Yeah, and I mean, we started with Ned. Ned Stark trying to do as close to the right thing as he could, loses everything.
Oh yeah,
or does he? Let me tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
I've had a thought of this. I've pieced some of it together from some other people's theories. I am so of the mindset that, and this is just a want. This is the heart wants what the heart wants.
Okay.
That Ned Stark is alive.
Okay.
I think, this is just wild theory, guys.
Okay.
I think that Ned Stark is the faceless man.
Oh.
Part 1. There's a part 2 of this theory that is crazy too. I think that he's the faceless man. I had the good fortune to watch the previous seasons back to back to back. I got into Game of Thrones right before the second to last season. This is going to be season 8?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So in season 7, I got into the show right before it started, and I just binged. So I was able to piece a lot of things together that the people that I knew that were watching it did not see. So way back in season 1, right before Ned Stark is to be executed,
right?
we know that he's in those cells. We know that the Faceless Man was also in the cells of King's Landing.
That's true.
We know it because because initially, remember, Ned is he's going to swear the black.
Yep.
And then go to the wall.
Yep.
So the Faceless Man was in a cage coming from that castle,
That's
from
true.
King's Landing as well.
Yep.
Okay? We never see the water dancer, Arya's sword instructor.
We don't see him die
on screen.
That's right.
We hear that he dies, but we know that he's from Braavos.
Yep.
The Faceless Men are from Braavos, and we know that Ned has spent time in Braavos. Follow me here, guys. It gets a little rocky. I think Ned made a deal with the Faceless Man or with that water dancer to become a Faceless Man.
Okay.
Because when Ned dies, Littlefinger does kind of an act of goodwill, and he actually brings the bones back to Catelyn Stark, Ned's widow.
Right.
Catelyn says, without being provoked, his bones looked like that of a smaller man. She didn't think that they were his bones and that they looked like that of a smaller man.
Damn.
The water dancer is a smaller man.
That's true.
Okay? I think that Ned could be not the water dancer, but the Faceless Man, because he's very obsessed with Arya.
Yeah.
He helps her out a ton.
Oh yeah, she's definitely the favorite.
Even when she's in Braavos learning,
Yeah.
and she screws up a bunch of times, like he doesn't kill her.
Nope,
Where it sounds like he would have that would have killed anybody else.
Right.
So either he is Ned or he's in cahoots with Ned. Probably more realistically, he was in cahoots with Ned. But I love Sean Bean, and I don't want him to be dead.
Yeah, I want the one place where he doesn't die is in this, because he dies in everything else.
Yeah.
That'd be a good twist.
when they're trying to when the Faceless Man is training Arya, and he's like trying to forget like who she is, like
Right.
a girl has no name. When she says a girl is Arya Stark to him, he has like a grin on
Big
his
smile.
face.
Yep.
And she leaves.
Yep.
And I mean, this is a Faceless Man.
This
For
was-
all intents and purposes, they're spooks of.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I literally almost just said Middle Earth, but of the Game of Thrones world. Okay, so for me, man, I just think that the first season was all about Ned.
Yes.
I mean, he's our main character for all
for
intents
sure.
and purposes.
For sure.
And then it changes gears directly after he dies.
Oh, yeah.
It would be interesting. Okay.
I love it.
Fear-
I would love to see that.
Would you? Okay. Would that be
Yes.
ridiculous?
No.
After all this time,
No.
or do you think it would be a great?
That would be a good twist. For me, I would probably be like, oh man, I'd probably stand up and clap. Like, no joke. Because like, I'm with you. I loved the character of Ned Stark. And I love Sean Bean too. So.
Yeah, it feels
I'm
like
about it.
it
I'm
feels
about
like Ned deserved better.
For sure.
And maybe, but Catelyn's dead, Robb is dead, so it's not like he's not suffering.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
The little crap one's dead. I can't remember his name.
Oh, the one that can't run in zigzags.
Yeah, the one that can't serpentine. So that's crackpot theory one.
Okay.
Both of my major theories really center around that Faceless Man, because I'm obsessed with the character, because it doesn't make sense to me why he's so helpful. In this world where everybody's out for
And
themselves,
deceitful.
and the minority are
absolutely.
people doing good,
Right.
he is doing some real good.
Sure.
My other theory is that the Faceless Man is Rhaegar. Rhaegar
That would.
is a
Kinda
target
makes
is a Targaryen,
Yeah.
and Rhaegar was the one who actually married Ned's sister,
Right.
Lyanna.
Right.
So she would be Jon's mother.
Yes.
Okay, so Rhaegar and Lyanna are Jon Snow's parents.
Right.
Okay, Rhaegar would have been the last Targaryen in line for the throne after his brother was killed. Rhaegar would then be the brother of Daenerys
Right.
and Viserion.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just laying the
No, that's
foundation.
cool.
A lot of
That's
names.
Cool. It's
Okay.
getting me back to where I need to be.
Okay.
Yep.
The Faceless Man could be Rhaegar because we hear of Rhaegar's defeat,
Right.
but we don't see him die on screen.
Again, yes.
And it was widely believed that Rhaegar had kidnapped Lyanna, when we actually found out that they got married in secret, that
Right.
they did love each other.
Yep.
Lyanna was promised to Robert Baratheon, and that's kind of the crux of this whole thing.
Sure.
Is Rhaegar and Lyanna getting married.
Yep.
Okay? But we don't find that out till this last season.
Yes, very
Till this past
true.
season.
Yep.
Okay? we know that Rhaegar was supposedly killed. Again, we don't see it. We don't see it in flashback or anything. I think that there's a chance that he was able to either buy his way out of being killed or just mortally wounded. Because I think that they even say something that his body was thrown in a river or something like that. Okay? I think that there's a possibility that he gets himself to Braavos. Seems like Braavos is where you want to go.
Sure. Yeah.
Braavos is the Madripoor of the Game of Thrones universe.
Yeah.
Madripoor is this Asian city in Marvel Comics. Wolverine goes there a lot of ninja stuff going on. So maybe Rhaegar gets there, becomes a faceless man, and is trying to get back either to the throne, but I can see him not wanting to do that at all.
Right.
And just trying to figure out where Jon is.
Exactly.
Where his kid is.
Yes.
The reasoning behind it is because way back in season 1, Ned is talking to Arya when she's like shooting arrows. She's not being very girly.
Right.
And he talks to her and he says, "You remind me of my sister. You have her fire." Okay? He says that to Arya.
Okay.
The Targaryens are all about fire and dragons and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Rhaegar, all of the Targaryens for the most part have kind of those blonde highlights.
Right.
The blonde hair.
Yeah.
Really white hair, I guess.
For sure.
The faceless man kind of has white streaks in his hair. Not gray, but like white streaks.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
if Ned saw Lyanna in Arya, maybe Rhaegar also sees it in Arya, and that's why he's protecting her.
Ah.
Or maybe when Ned and the faceless man are in that cell together, he discovers that he's Rhaegar.
Gotcha.
And there's some deal made. I really think that there's more to the faceless man.
For sure.
And maybe I want more.
Me
there
too.
to be
Oh
more
yeah,
to
it
the
was
faceless
such a
man.
cool part of the show.
It just feels like a weird way to leave that guy. Like, oh, thanks for the training.
Yep.
I'm out. And so if Ned saw it, and yeah, maybe Ned had been working with Rhaegar this whole time.
For
hey,
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I've got your son. You need to, or maybe that's Ned's deal.
Yeah.
There will not be a Targaryen on the throne. I'll take care of Jon.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think that there's something going
It's
on,
gotta be.
and it would just
I
be
could see
interesting.
it.
It would just be interesting.
Totally, man.
All the way back in season 1, Rhaegar is there as a faceless man. It would be
That
crazy.
would blow everyone's mind, dude.
It would be crazy.
That would be. Oh man. I like it. That's an awesome twist. If that's
Yeah.
true. Oof.
I'm all on board for one of those things to happen.
For sure.
I'm always the guy who wants to outsmart himself and outsmart the
Sure,
writers.
sure,
So
sure,
we'll
sure.
see what happens. We'll see
That would
what
be
happens.
really cool.
Um,
What is something you want to see? Because for me, I want to see the Mountain versus the Hound. I need to see that, even though I know it's technically Zombie Mountain,
yeah.
but I still want to see it. And of course, they had that tense little moment,
Yeah.
and they said they're going to finish it. I need to see that.
It's just so funny how they were able to turn so many of these characters that we liked into people that we or disliked.
Yeah,
into
it's
people that we liked.
heroes. Yeah, the
Um,
Hound is up there with Jon Snow for me. He's one of my
Really?
favorite characters on the show.
I like
man.
the Hound. I like the
Yeah.
Hound. His kind of 2-episode arc where he's trying to find peace with those people, building the church.
Right.
I really like that.
Yeah, I love the scene in the tavern. That's my favorite Hound scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or you just
When he's eating the chicken?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good scene. That's a good scene. I want to see. I don't know if I want to see. I want to see Jaime kill Cersei.
that would be a cool
I think
twist.
that he's gonna have to.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be one of those types of situations where he like runs himself through, and Cersei.
Okay.
And they die together.
There you go.
They're twins, lovers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
all their
yeah.
kids are dead, so it's just like if the smoke settles and Jaime Lannister is still alive, I don't think there's
real-
anywhere he can go.
Right.
I don't think that
There's no-
there are people that'll still try to kill him.
For sure.
So I would kind of like to see that. I would like to see Jon and Daenerys happy. I
Yeah, me
would.
too.
I want way too many happy things to happen.
Because it's
this-
been such a dark show.
It has been. It has been.
And I think if any series needs to end on a high note, it needs to be this one. Just because there's so much darkness, and I think it needs to lead up to a little light, man. I think we need to see our heroes, the ones deserving of happiness, get it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm willing to sacrifice some people. I could do without Sansa.
I can do without the Brienne of Tarth, even though I think she's cool.
Oh, she's cool. So yeah, I could.
But I want her to go out like a warrior. 'Cause she
I do
wants
too.
to go out like a
Yeah.
warrior. She wants to
I
go
want the
out.
mountain to just rip her in half after she's cut off one of his legs.
And that
Oh my! The mountain and the Hound and Brienne of Tarth against the mountain.
Yeah.
That's a good fight.
There we go. And I think that's
a good
how it's
fight.
going to go down.
That's a good
I
fight.
can see
Maybe,
it.
and maybe she sacrifices herself to save the Hound,
Right.
Because she knows the Hound can kill him or
Yeah.
something.
I agree with that.
You know, I could. I mean, do we? You know, in 6 episodes, are we going to redeem Theon? We have had some Theon.
Oh yeah,
redemption.
he's gonna. You know, he's got that. You know, John gave him that pep talk.
Yeah.
And he's going to go after his sister.
You're a stock. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep. Oh yeah. I think he's gonna. I think he'll get a happy ending too. I mean, not really. He can't. But
Yeah. I do. When Littlefinger died last season,
Right.
I was a little bummed at
Me
that.
too, because I liked him.
And not even because I liked him, because I thought that there was more story to tell.
Me too. But that's what I mean. Like he was the guy playing him was great, but yeah, I thought there was more there.
Yeah, Peter.
For sure.
Peter Baelish.
Yeah, Baelish, Lord Baelish.
Yeah, because I think it would make tons of sense if the Game of Thrones was actually started by Littlefinger.
That would make too much sense.
Because
a lot of sense.
Initially, Catelyn is promised to Ned's older brother.
Right.
And I don't remember the older brother of Ned Stark, but then when it seems like Rhaegar or the Mad King stole Lyanna,
Yeah.
Ned and maybe their father, they go to King's Landing to say, hey, or they go to talk to the Mad King, say, hey, Rhaegar kidnapped our kid,
Yeah.
or my daughter, and then the dad and the older brother get killed.
Yeah.
He burns them with the dragon's breath or dragon's fire.
Yeah.
And it would have been interesting if Littlefinger hears that they're getting secretly married, and then he's the one who puts it out there. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Lyanna was kidnapped, hoping that the older brother would die, and that he would then have a chance to get with Catelyn.
Yeah.
But then she ends up going to Ned.
I can see that.
It would be interesting.
That would be
That's
cool.
how it started.
Yeah.
I've never read the books, guys.
I haven't
don't-
either.
I don't know.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it would be nice if some of these people could get a happy ending.
For sure.
I'm not talking Grey Worm or Missandei or any
I need
of
to
that.
see Cersei die painfully.
I do too. I think we all need to.
Yep.
But I can also see Cersei killing herself to not give anybody the
That's it,
satisfaction.
right, for sure.
Or if she flips it on me and she kills herself and Jaime.
There we go. Okay.
And that would suck because I think we all like Jaime for the most part.
For sure. He's redeemed himself, you know. I want to see Braun. I want to get some more Braun in this season.
Yeah.
He's one of my faves, you know.
Interesting thing, I read this the other day on the internet.
Yeah.
Bronn and Cersei
They used to date.
in real life
And
used to
they
date.
can't stand each other.
So that's why we don't
never
ever
see
see
them.
them together. I
Nope.
didn't know that.
Yep.
So, maybe we get to see some more Bronn. I like Bronn.
Braun's cool.
And I really like when Bronn and Tyrion are together.
For sure.
It feels
they
right.
play off each other really well.
And Gendry, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Is it? No, that's not Gendry. That's
Oh, what's his name? I can't. Podrick.
Podrick. Yeah,
Podrick.
Podrick. Yeah. When the three of them are in the
Yeah,
same room,
it's hilarious.
I kind of dig that.
Now, do you want to see a great ending to the Sam and Gilly saga?
Oh man,
The one story nobody cares about.
it's going to be interesting. I like Gilly.
Okay.
I like Sam.
Okay.
I don't care about them,
Yeah,
but I like
there you
them.
go.
When they're there.
Boom.
Yeah, it's you know, you go to a restaurant and they have seasonal vegetables.
Sure.
I could take them or leave them.
Okay.
But I'm fine that they're on the plate. And we know that Sam is going to have to be the one that tells him, "Hey, dude, did you just have sex with your aunt?" He has to talk to John. Like, I wonder how awkward that's going to be. And then obviously Daenerys is going to get pregnant, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
from
that's
Jon's
got to
baby,
happen
yeah.
for sure. That's
It's
got to happen.
Like they're George R. R. Martin and the people involved with this really trying to sell us on incest.
No,
I'm
right, like
not
hey,
super into it.
It can be sexy.
Hey guys, it only works if your aunt's really hot. In all not seriousness, but who do you think actually ends up on the throne? Like, who do you think is the like not who you want? Who do you think actually does?
Oof. I got. It's probably gonna be Daenerys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can just see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I. How about you? I don't have a reasoning for it. I just think that's how the show's been heading. It's gonna go that way.
see a world in which Daenerys and Jon live.
Oof. Jon's already died. They've already played that. They already spent that nickel, so it's like...
So maybe Daenerys has got to die, and Jon, Jon always is kind of reluctant leader.
Yeah, but she...
know, Jon in King's Landing, Sansa in the North.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's even a world in which there's no true leaders left, and everybody just decides to go their other ways,
right.
and then it just kind of restarts.
Yeah, that would be kind of... Everything just becomes their own country, more or less.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there are people who think that Tyrion can do it,
Sure.
and is a Targaryen as well. Because in the there are these weird side. I don't know if it's from the book or if it's just like appendices to the story. But apparently, the Mad King was obsessed with Tywin's wife.
Okay.
And did rape her.
Oh, okay.
So like we know that all the freaking Targaryens for the most part are inbred, and which would cause deformities.
Okay.
Dwarf.
Sure.
Dwarf syndrome.
Okay. Okay.
And that's more why Tywin hates him, and Tyrion's hair isn't as blonde as the other two.
Very true.
His is kind of streaky.
Yep.
So
okay.
Where he's a Lannister and a well, maybe he's not actually a Lannister. I don't know what the mom's lineage is, but where he's also a Targaryen.
Yes.
I think
it's just so many.
Yeah.
A lot of cool theory. That's what's cool about this show.
Yeah.
It opens up so much discussion.
Yeah.
I love it. Typically I love, hypothesizing on lots of shows and books, but this is the one thing I've just been able to sit back and love.
Just
and
let it happen.
Let it happen.
No,
man.
I agree.
I love it, man.
I agree.
Do you think we'll maybe get a White Walker Hodor?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
I'd like to see that.
How terrible would that be? Yeah, see, and then in all of this, the Night King is still a very possible.
Yeah, he could be sitting on the throne. I'd be okay with that.
I mean, we gotta assume that we're gonna get 2 dragons on 1 dragon fight.
Yep.
And then 2 of those 3 dragons are going to die.
Oh, for sure.
Or does he show up, sees his mother basically, and now she's got an ice dragon. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cool stuff that could happen.
For sure.
A lot of cool stuff could happen.
Oh man.
As far as who's going to be, I know I keep tiptoeing. I'm trying to buy myself time. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I feel like nothing really bad has happened to Arya.
Right.
So her having to sit on the throne would be the worst thing for her.
Oh, for sure.
Not
being
able to be
confined and yep.
She
wouldn't do it.
She wouldn't do it.
No, she would be like deuces.
Yeah.
She's like a character that initially I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, she's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, just her with the Hound,
Mm-hmm.
then her going to the Faceless Man College or whatever. It's like,
One of those singing colleges
Yeah.
at Bravos, One
I just-
face, one night.
Jesus. It's like a character I began to love,
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know who's going to be. Maybe it's the Onion Knight. I like that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's cool.
Sure. He's a politician you can get behind. Maybe they just go in for elections. Maybe,
Yeah, there you
maybe
go.
it ends with just, hey, and we're fighting.
Just George Bush showing up, bringing democracy
There we go.
to King's Landing.
And
all right?
I'd be okay with that.
America. All right, guys, that's our show today. We hope that you liked it. Game of Thrones is going to be starting up this weekend.
Yeah.
And we will, honestly, we'll dedicate
Probably give
6
that-
more shows.
Absolutely.
Every Tuesday, Wednesday after that the new episode comes out, we're going to try to talk about it, break it down,
Definitely.
and then see what we like. And
yes.
please, guys, comment under below.
Yep, please.
If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, hit the like button. What did you learn today, my friend?
I think I need to go back and recap.
Yeah.
Yep, I think I need to maybe watch the last season again. Last 2 probably.
Andy burned through all 7
Seriously?
in like 10 days.
Oh.
Yeah. He
I got a trooper, man.
He's like, hey, I'll just give up life for 10 days and
I love that
figure
guy.
this thing out.
We need to get him on the show.
I know. I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna. Andy, if you're listening,
Yeah,
I think
dude.
you need to come on the next show
Come
after
on,
that
dude.
first after the season premiere.
Yeah, for sure. How about you? What'd you learn?
I learned that I want way more for this universe than it wants to give me. And you know what? It's given me a lot, so you know it's hard to have a good show like that. I'm excited. I want to see what's going to happen. I'm concerned about Lord Varys because you know that guy's got to go. But that's been our show today, guys. I have been Roman Chavez,
Eric Icarus,
and thank you from REC Comics and Collectibles. And we'll hear you next time.